Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video and another episode of my MotoGP 19 mod career mode here today. And this time we are here for round 15 out of 19 for the Thailand GP at the Buriram circuit, a brand new circuit on the calendar in 2018. And if you guys did miss the last race for round 14 at Aragon, then check out the episode by clicking on the card in the top right hand corner of your screen. Now for this race, guys, we don't have any upgrades on the bike, I can say that. We are currently leading the championship, and it's very close between myself and Andrea Dovizioso, and Marquez and Vinales a little bit further back. They're still mathematically in contention, but they've dropped off a little bit in the last couple of races, so it's kind of looking like a two-horse race as things go in towards the final stage of the season. In terms of this race though, we're going to jump into practice, make sure we get through all the practice programs, and then we will move on to setting a lap that's good enough to get us straight into Q2 in qualifying. With that being said, let's jump into practice and let's see how this race goes. It was a very good track for me last season in the Aprilia, so I think I'm expecting to be pretty good again. So let's find out. It's time for practice. Okay, so currently halfway through FP1 and the test has been completed. As you can see, the test results there, pretty much maximum scores, and overall a very flawless session so far. However, the track is wet, as you might notice in a minute's time. So I'm going to basically go back out. I'm going to see if I can go fastest and improve some more in the wet conditions, and then we're going to see and basically dictate how we'll go for the rest of the weekend, because as long as there's a dry session in FP2 or FP3, we have to go back out and improve, because otherwise we won't get through to Q2 with this wet weather time. So pretty much we have to go through each session and take it session by session, but for now let's go back out on track and let's try and improve on our current lap time. As things stand though, you can see on the timing screen we are 6 seconds clear already, so things are looking pretty good here already, and I think there's a bit more pace to come off. I think a 32 is possible, so we're going to get back on track and we're going to try and set those decent lap times if we can. Into the final corner, everyone's going down here. A little bit deep myself into the final corner, but we're going to straighten up the bike nice and early on the power, and we do improve 32.3. We find 7/10 in that final sector alone, and that lap should be good enough to get us through into Q2 in qualifying. So let's jump into it. Right, here we are then. We made it into Q2 in qualifying as expected. However, it is a dry session. I went for every single session, and every single practice session was dry, and this is going to be the first dry session of the weekend. So it's going to be quite interesting and quite, it's going to be quite curious to see how this one pans out. I think we've still got good pace in the dry anyway. I think we will have good pace. So let's jump into it and let's see how it goes. The lap times are expected to drop, so it's going to take me a few laps to get used to it. Therefore, I think a few more laps to try and improve on our pace a little bit. So let's jump into it. It's time for qualifying here at the Thailand Grand Prix at Buriram. I was pretty close there, could have easily gone down. Coming towards the end of my first lap though in the dry, and it's been a pretty cautious lap, just trying to readapt my braking points. We are going to easily take first place for now, 1.7 up, but I think the lap times are going to drop, as will mine. I think I've got a lot more pace to find, as I get turn 1 completely wrong there. I was trying to push the limits a little bit too much, so we'll back out of this lap, but we'll go again next time round. But there's definitely, I reckon, about easily half a second, 6-7 tenths on that lap. So we'll try and improve next time round, but for now I'm just going to try and do some testing here and explore the track limits a little bit more if I can. Okay, that was a better lap. Let's try and have a strong final sector here. Strong final corner. Get it slowed down. A little bit hot on the brakes there. I'm going to have to wait a little bit to get the power down. Up to the line though, and it's a 26.9. We find almost a second. What a lap that was. I reckon I can still go faster, to be honest, so I'm going to keep pushing. but that was a pretty strong lap into the 126s there. Oh, damn it. That's a little mistake there. Half a second up. I had pace. I'm going to back out. I'm going to pit in, get some fresh tyres on. I reckon I can find another half a second if I really hook it up. So let's come back into the pit lane, get some fresh tyres on and go again. Across the line, we do improve a little bit there, just a fraction, but there's more time in it. Let's keep pushing. Oh, I've done it again. I'm going to keep pushing this time though. I've got the fresh tyres on. I should have the grip. Here we go then, that's been a better lap. Let's try and end it strongly. Final corner here. Petrucci goes down. I don't know why the AI go down and we go down as well. That final corner causing everybody trouble. I think we're going to call it there, to be honest. There was half a second in it, but I can't seem to hook it up. So we're going to call it quits and say that should be good enough for pole position. So qualifying, let's end it here and let's see how we get on. Well then, that wasn't even close. So yeah, we bagged pole position. We do have Marquez and Dovi on the front row with us, but we seem to be very, very fast around here. Absolutely supreme around this circuit. So it should be a foregone conclusion. We have to win this race. And let's make sure we don't give Dovi any chances. Qualifying is in the books. Now let's move into the race for round 15 for the Thailand GP.
The cameras are accompanying us on a tour of their favourite riders for today's MotoGP race. We can't make predictions, but judging from the extremely competitive qualifying sessions, we're sure we're going to see a fantastic show.
Well, hopefully it's fantastic behind me because I want to try and win the race. And based off a warm-up, I'm surprised. Marquez actually went faster in warm-up than he did in qualifying, which is quite surprising, but still quite a way off my qualifying pace. So, in terms of the bike settings, we're going to go aggressive this race. We're going to run a soft front, medium rear, and we're going to try and push in the early stages, try and pull the pin early and get the gap established early on. And pretty much we're going to see if we can try and dominate this race, and in many ways make a very boring one, kind of like we did back in the Sachsenring. But with that being said, let's jump into things here, and let's try and convert once again another pole position into a race win. It's time for the Thailand GP.
The warm-up lap has just finished and the riders have taken their places on the starting grid. The Thai Grand Prix is about to start.
Right, here we go, clutch pulled, first gear selected. Let's get the revs into the sweet spot. The front lights are on for the Thai GP and it's lights out, away we go. Not the best start for the line, it has to be said. We've lost a handful of positions. We're going to go around the outside of turn 1 here. Power down nice and early, Marquez and Dovi side by side. We're going to get a nice toe hopefully off of the pair of them, racing down towards the hairpin here. Dovi just held up a little bit there. We're going to pull to the inside. I'm very hot, but this is a very tricky double apex hairpin here. So Dovi back down the inside, but we're going to go the long way round and we're going to take that position back and we're straight into first place. What a really good run down the hairpin that was. We really went for the early apex. We didn't have any contact with anybody from behind and we've taken back first position there. So now we can get to work, use the softer tyres to our advantage, pull the pin and try and establish an early gap here to the riders behind. So here we go then, straight away, getting to work. You can see the indicator on the bottom of the screen with the rider following me there. I'm already starting to make it quite translucent, which means we're pulling away. And there you go, it's completely disappeared now. And on the mini-map you can even see the gap that we have behind already starting to grow here, which is good. So getting to work, pace very strong early on here. Let's try and keep it going that way and try and dominate this race if we can. Dobby's P2, that's the best he can hope for in this race because P1 is going to be unattainable. We're going to make sure of it. So here we go then, towards the end of lap 1. Wasn't the best start, but we recovered quite nicely. As we go into the final corner, let's try and avoid contact here. There could be a lot of crashes you'll see on the right hand side of the screen now into that corner, based off of qualifying and practice, but we get through unscathed and we are leading the race here and things are looking good going on to lap 2. So now let's get our head down, set a couple of quick laps and pull away as we get a poor run through the first corner. Cyrene there, my teammate, goes down at the final corner, so poor one for him. But anyway, let's get our head down and let's set the lap times. Straight away, getting to work on the pace, 27.0. Straight away, really good pace. And we're already getting a huge gap out to Dovi in second, so that's looking good. Marquez down to P4 now, and Vinales P3. So the top 4 in the championship, top 4 in this race, in more or less the same order as the championship. So nothing really surprising here thus far. Into the 126s now. The pace is super consistent. I'm lapping literally within a tenth of a second every single lap. Things are feeling great. And I'm feeling very confident at the minute, and the gap is starting to get absolutely ginormous here in this race. I can't believe how consistent I'm lapping. It's unbelievable. Literally every lap is a higher 26.9, in this case now 26.8 or a 27.0, but I mean there is literally no difference at all in the lap times. I'm so consistent and I can do it all the time. I will admit the rear tyre is starting to vanish a little bit now, but even still I'm still going really fast, and the bike just feels fantastic around the circuit. The upgrades that we put on before Aragon are actually paying off a lot more here than they were in Aragon, to be honest. I can really feel it around here. Even faster still, 26.6. I mean, I'm actually getting close to my qualifying time here. It's getting ridiculous, this is. Just so much pace. I think also this isn't the AI's strongest track, I have to say. I think they do struggle around here. Hopefully for MotoGP 19, the actual game, the AI are fixed for this one. Right, last lap of the race. I've cooled off my own pace a little bit just to make sure I don't make any mistakes or crash or anything. But let's bring this one home now and let's secure another big fat 25 points, which will really put the pressure on Dovi going into the closing stages of the championship. Oh, a little wobble there, but we're going to get away with it. Here we go then, through the final couple of corners, and it's been an absolutely dominant one-sided performance here today at Buriram. But we are going to win the race here today. And we're going to convert the pole position into yet another race win and a big fat 25 points that come home with us. What a race, what a performance. Now let's look at the final race results and see where Dovi and the rest of the championship contenders finished in this race, because I think it's going to be pretty straightforward in this race, I think. So there we have it then, we dominate the race, we bring home the fastest lap and it wasn't even close. Dovi P2, Vinales P3 and Marquez P4, pretty much how the championship looks. Valentino Rossi P5, Cal Crutchlow in a very strong P6, and then Mir, Petrucci, Lorenzo in the top 9. Then we've got Miller rounding off the top 10 with Iannone, Zarco, Bagnaia, Quattararo and Alex Rins rounding out the top 15. Paul Espargaro misses out on points along with Tito Rabat, Espargaro, Oliveira, Nakagami, Morbidelli, Cyrene, who also fell off early on in the Grand Prix, and finally Carol Abram there, who finishes last, over a minute off my pace. So there you go, that is the top 23, and now we look at the Riders' Championship, and we lead by 9 points over Andrea Dovizioso, and the pressure is on the Italian rider. Also, Vinales and Marquez now are starting to slowly slip away now mathematically from championship contention, so it's becoming a 2-horse race here once again. In terms of the Constructors' Championship, we are 16 points clear of Ducati, which is fantastic, and 38 clear of Yamaha. And in terms of the Team Championship, we remain in P4. Suzuki 40 points behind us now, and in the meantime Yamaha extend their lead slightly, and they had 25 points clear at the top of the tree ahead of Ducati and Repsol Honda. But that's going to be it, guys, for this episode of the MotoGP 19 Mod Career Mode. If you did enjoy it, then please do drop a like and also get subscribed for daily Formula 1 and MotoGP content, and turn on notifications to not miss a video from me. Finally, check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video very soon, but until then, it's goodbye from me.